and the husband is terrified. He is scared, but his wife drags him along for some sweet lovemaking. Sejun hears the sounds coming from their house and wishes the husband all the best, but he is crying inside as he is jealous of him for having a wife. That jealousy does not last long, and Sejin walks back to his spot. He says that it was boring to be alone in the cave, and now, thanks to the rabbits, he has someone to help him and something cute to look for. Then he lay down onto the bed made up of onion leaves to rest comfortably, but after some time he felt something burning. Suddenly his back started burning. He jumps into a standing position and rolls on the ground, feeling that his back is on fire. He is wondering what just happened as he gets up, and he sees the reason behind it. The plastic water bottle filled with water was acting as a lens and burning the dried onion leaf. Sejun had knowledge from a renowned survival show, learning that rubbing 2 dry leaves together might produce fire. He had been trying for hours without success, his frustration and disappointment mounting. Yet just as he was on the verge of giving up, a tiny spark caught his eye, and a thrill of excitement surged through him. Curious about Sejun's activities, the rabbits emerged from their dwelling to investigate. He enlisted their aid in fanning the embers by blowing on the pile of dried leaves while he employed a bottle as a lens. United in their efforts, the trio persevered, and at long last the leaves burst into flames. Triumphant, Sejun reveled in his newfound ability to create fire. Casting a glance at the onion plants, he opted to cook them over the open flame. He roasted 1 stalk, peeled away the charred exterior, and took a tentative bite. To his amazement, the cooked onion leaf was so delectable that he couldn't help but exclaim in delight. Declaring it delicious, he eagerly began roasting another. Intrigued by the transformative effects of cooking, the rabbits decided to try it for themselves. They too roasted an onion leaf, and as they sampled the sweet treat, their eyes sparkled with the pleasure of experiencing a new and delightful flavor. Sejun was very happy, as for the first time, he had eaten a full stomach. In the past few days, after discovering fire with the help of the rabbits, Sejun made torches out of green onion leaves and placed them around the cave. This helped him to roam around the cave easily, especially in the dark areas like the pond. He was near the pond with a torch in his hand when he saw something moving in the water. A fish jumped out of the water, and Sejun was so startled that he barely dodged its open mouth. The fish had jumped with too much power and found itself on land, unable to return to the water. This was the first time Sejun had seen a fish in the cave. He wondered if the fish was attracted to the light of the torch, and his intuition was proved correct. And just like that, Sejun discovered fish in the cave. He killed the fish and roasted it over the fire, even though he had no seasoning. The fish was really tasty, and Sejun found the rabbits drooling as he ate the fish and asking for their share. He was shocked because he had not expected rabbits to be meat-eaters, but since they were basically monsters, he thought it was natural. A few days later, the blue moon appeared once again, and Sejun realized that on this floor, the blue moon phenomenon occurred every 30 days. He had been relying on his laptop and power bank to charge his phone and keep track of the date, but eventually they too reached their limit. Unable to use his phone any longer, Sejun began marking the days on the cave wall with a stone. So it's been 61 days, he said. A few days ago, something amazing had happened. Sejun had seen a tired male rabbit open the door of his house, and without wasting a moment, a group of baby rabbits bolted out. They were the children of the rabbit couple that had been recently born, and they had become fond of Sejun, who had become their uncle. They ran straight at Sejun and jumped on him, causing him to fall to the ground. They were really cute, and Sejun couldn't get enough of their cuteness, even as they nibbled at his face. He laughed and enjoyed their company. Sejun looked at the sleep-deprived husband rabbit and said that raising babies must be hard, but for now he would take care of the babies for a while, and the couple should relax and eat breakfast. The cherry tomato plants had started flowering, and Sejun took the baby rabbits with him to check them out. The babies frolicked around on the farm as Sejun inspected his plants. The flowers had bloomed, and even though they were tomato flowers, Sejun now thought he had a flower garden. To bear fruit, pollination was necessary, and he had to do it manually. Sejun used a small stick to artificially pollinate the flowers, but all the bending and working was taking a toll on his back. A baby rabbit put its face inside a flower and got pollen on its face. It sneezed, and Sejun started laughing. But then Sejun noticed something. The tomato plants had started to bear fruit. After so long, his hard work was starting to show some results. Sejun celebrated the first fruits of his cherry tomato plants and danced with the baby rabbits. The day before the blue moon, Sejun made preparations to survive it. He put out the fire and stored a small amount of burning leaves under huge boulders. He was wearing makeshift clothes made from onion leaves, thinking that it would be enough to stay warm and hidden. The rabbits also headed back to their homes as the time for the blue moon drew near. Something scary always happened whenever the blue moon occurred, but Sejun was confident that they would survive it like the previous ones. He thought it was going to be a piece of cake and went into hiding. The blue moon began, and monsters started screeching throughout the forest. Sejun was not afraid, but he was tired and hoped that the blue moon would end soon. To prepare for an unlikely situation, he had already hidden things with a strong odor and was now hiding in a corner. However, since it was hard to tell how much time had passed, he was growing tired of waiting. The monster cries did not help either. They were far away, but they could still make him shiver. As Sejun hoped that this blue moon would also pass without incident, he heard a loud roar. It was different and more intense than the voices of other monsters, almost as if it were close to him. Indeed, a huge monster was walking towards the cave, squashing full-grown trees beneath its feet. It approached the entrance to the cave, which was too small in comparison to its size. The monster stared down the hole, and inside, Sejun gaped at it. He was scared of the giant bear-like monster in front of him, but thankfully, the monster had not noticed him yet. Sejun thought he should hide in a better place before the monster spotted him. He was trembling as he picked up his bag and started moving quietly and slowly. However, taking the bag with him turned out to be a mistake. As he picked up his belongings, the things inside the bag dropped, creating a loud noise due to the empty water bottle. The monster's attention was attracted by the sound. Sejun stared in horror, first at his stuff and then up at the beast, who was now trying to peek inside the cave. Sejun screamed in fear and the bear roared in response. A few moments later, Sejun was found unconscious with the rabbits trying to wake him up. When the baby rabbits failed to rouse him, their father slapped Sejun, and he woke up. He was still afraid of what he had seen before passing out and asked the rabbits what had happened to the blue moon. As he looked around, he realized that it had ended. The husband rabbit told Sejun that he was unconscious when they found him and said that he had passed out when he saw the monster. Sejun wanted to know what had happened. Rabbits, what had happened to the blue moon? As he looked around, he realized that it had ended. The husband rabbit told Sejun that he was unconscious when they found him and said that he had passed out when he saw the monster. Sejun wanted to know what had happened after that. He had been terrified and couldn't move when the monster tried to force its way into the cave, and he had passed out after the monster roared. Sejun remembered the incident and shivered. He had almost lost his life at the hands of that monster. Feeling cold, the wife rabbit created a large fire and a blanket of onion leaves. Sejun sat in front of the fire with the baby rabbits snuggled up to him. The wife rabbit also brought him roasted fish, and Sejun thanked her. As he ate, Sejun realized that the monster had noticed this plate. It may have been due to another monster or because it couldn't get inside the cave due to the small entrance, but the monster had left without causing harm. However, there was no guarantee that he would be safe if it returned. He thought he had gotten lucky this time, but it might go differently next time. After everything he had done to survive, he didn't want to die. He decided that the best course of action was to eat well and stay alive. While Sejun was eating, the husband rabbit approached him, wanting to show him something. Sejun followed him and found something unbelievable, a ripe cherry tomato. But it was nothing like he had expected. It was blue and glistening in the sunlight. Sejun was shocked, but the blue color wasn't the first thing he noticed about the fruit. He bent down and tried to pick up the large, ripe fruit, then wondered why it was blue. As he pondered this, a window appeared in front of Sejun, informing